So while we've been breaking new ground, I thought I'd try something a little bit different for the channel. See how you like it. If you don't watch it, I might not do anymore. But I quite enjoy watching trailer reactions. As a Transformers fan, you don't get a lot of trailers to react to, really, right? Am I right? Yeah? So, unless you've been living under a rock, we've just had a new trailer drop on us for the next installment of the Netflix War for Cybertron. I've never done a trailer reaction before, but I thought we'd give it a go. I haven't seen it yet. Pretty excited. I did start putting together a video about the first installment, but it felt real negative. I wasn't a huge fan. I feel like they were trying, but really the whole thing felt like there wasn't quite enough money behind it to make it what it could be. And that's stressful because if, you don't invest, you don't get the return, and I'm just worried that someone might interpret that as there not being enough interest in adult-oriented Transformers content. So hopefully this next installment can deliver the goods. All right, let's do this. Ooh. I'm wearing headphones. Do I look cool? Is it a cool look? Let's just do this. Do this.
Anybody home? Do you know who I am?
I know who you are.
I know what you are. That is enough.
An Optimus. Ooh, Shockwave. Being weird.
The ugly one. Oh, come on.
Ah, take that B, you jerk. That was a really good render on those Quintessons. Oh! Netflix.
The future is unwritten.
Who was that?
Focus your mind.
It's focused.
Take us to the Allspark.
Where are
I
they?
need to break into the Decepticons, but they've already won the war.
Not yet, they haven't.
That's why Chromia and RC should have come with more guns.
I'm so glad someone on our team can fly.
I hear you, Red Alert, but I still don't like the treatment of Jetfire.
Place.
Is that prehistoric Earth?
Path for a much darker future.
Oh!
Nemesis. I will guide you to your rightful destiny.
Is that a flashback?
You will kill Optimus Prime and take the Matrix for yourself.
No!
I don't trust you. Good. Never trust anyone. Galvatron.
Unicron! I'm sweating. That made me sweat. That was good. That was a good trailer. Oh, first impressions. It looked like the world was much more full, like there was more happening in it. I'd be very surprised if this second iteration didn't have a higher budget than the first one, because that just looked like there was a lot more going on. Score-wise, everything. I really hope that it's not as hollow feeling as what Siege was. Oh, that was dope. All right, let's do that again and pick out some key bits, shall we? Oh, Quintessons, dope. So that must. I'd have thought from that first trailer that it was probably Double Dealer and those peeps who came up on the Ark, but now I'm thinking maybe the Quintessons came up on the Ark, and that's how all those bros and dudettes are captured. Shockwave being all creepy cool. How good is the render and the details on that Quintessons Judge? The texture of the surface the faces are on looks bizarrely organic, which is pretty gross. I like to think they might have been an organic society once upon a time, and then they evolved to a point where, you know, their leaders and scholars and, you know, powerhouses for good or ill had their consciousness put into machines to help be more efficient in running their planet, which probably led to their ultimate downfall and a whole bunch of Sharktacons. Now, what is this big diocese thing that we can see the Autobots coming up on? That must have kind of just be like a nod to the Pit of Judgment, I suppose. I'm not sure what that ship is that's descending from the clouds, or if that's a character. Can't quite place that one. To be honest, it looks like a giant floppy disk just coming down. And all this take us to the Allspark business. Who's that to? Do the Quintessons somehow have access to a space bridge? I don't know. We saw everyone in prison, which is pretty telling, including Jetfire. So this must be out of sequence. Jetfire doing some pretty cool stuff. All these clouds and atmosphere and stuff feels much, much richer visually. Even the light mapping and the texture mapping on the model seems better. All those asteroids or whatever hitting that icy world, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being like part of Prime's mindscape or something like that, potentially. Oh, and that Nemesis Prime in the shadows, right? Again, I wouldn't be surprised if all that ends up being part of some kind of Matrix-fueled dream sequence, and so we only get like a minute of Nemesis Prime on screen. It doesn't feel like it's gonna fit with the whole Galvatron Unicron thing. We get to see some flashback action. I think it's flashback action of Megatron kicking someone that I can't exactly tell who it is he's given the boot to in that black and white bit. But from the back, how raised up that back section is, I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a pre-war gladiatorial pit of him smashing down with Ultra Magnus, which is pretty dope. Also, did anyone else catch Scorponok kicking up over here? Oh, that beat rush of Galvatron. That's so cool. That's really exciting. Very interesting that Galvatron isn't, you know, a new form of Megatron like he is in the 86 cartoon continuity. I think in the comics he did a lot of time traveling. In the IDW verse he was just a separate guy from the Dark Ages of Cybertron, which I quite liked because it lets you have Galvatron and Megatron.
Ketchup? Ketchup.
Galvatron's helmet I don't quite like the design of his head. But that flash of Unicron, right? And that red energy that you get from Megatron reminds me very much of a little bit of the Hate Plague, to be honest, but also it has airs of like when Unicron is, I belong to no one! Oh man, that was dope. That was actually really good. I have some high hopes. My spirits are high. When you add that with the first trailer we got, I'm actually finding it kind of difficult to predict the story, which isn't something you can often say of Transformers media, really. Like, not since Prime have we really had any, oh, didn't see that coming, oh, Smokescreen's Hot Rod, oh. It's a good time to be a Transformers fan. Makes me think, but that in the next Netflix wave of figures, we're probably going to get a pimped out looking Galvatron, which I know we're getting an Earthrise Galvatron, but maybe the better deco to go with could end up being the Netflix one, like is so often the case. The possibilities. Look, whilst I don't know if it's going to be any good, if it's going to be plagued by all the same issues that we saw in the first installment, at the very least, that has me guessing about what I'm going to see, and that's cool in and of itself. Oh man, that back end of December cannot come quick enough. Not for Christmas, for Netflix robots. Oh, I'm so juiced for this now. Did I miss anything out? Were there any key tidbits that any other people noticed in there? I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything, what you think. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to it? Subscribe, like, subscribe again. Catch you next time.